I believe that I spent, what, maybe 6 or 7 or 8 hours with Mrs. Hochman, so I'm telling you I got a prize. And she was teaching me how to make the kreplach, so I'm also going to help tonight if anybody needs any help with making kreplach. So what is the issue here? Like in Judaism, things are never simple. Food is not just food. There's a whole spiritual understanding to why you eat kreplach. Kreplach are very important food. You see them, who knows when we eat them? Purim, right, which is coming up in 2 weeks, Erev Yom Kippur, and Hoshana Rabbah. So those are 3 times that we eat them, and I'm going to leave Mrs. Hochman to tell you all of the reasons behind. But when I was making the kreplach with Mrs. Hochman, I think one of the most important parts to the whole story for Mrs. Hochman is the word Mesorah. Does anybody know what the word Mesorah means? It means transmission. Okay, so we're very big believers in Judaism that we got a Torah 3,000 years ago and we have never changed that Torah. We still have the same authentic Torah. And if you ever take a look, we have so many guards to make sure that we're still reading the same Torah that we read 3,000 years ago. Anybody had their son have to lame? Right? You remember as a mother, like your heart's pumping because if he makes one little mistake, nobody goes, poor little bar mitzvah boy. They go, cut you. Okay, that's wrong and you're going to have to say it again. And we do it 3 times a week. And if one little letter is off in the Torah, then that Torah is no longer complete. So we know that our Mesorah, our transmission, is 100% accurate, right? You see that when all the Jews came back to Israel after 1948, and some from Iran, and some from China, and some from here, and some from there, everybody came with what? The same Torah. With the same Torah. The recipes were a little off. Maybe the kreplach were the same, but a little bit off. So what was I going to tell you? So this is what Mrs. Hochman wanted. Today, who's making kreplach? Very few of us. Most of us are going to Sobeys, paying $12 for a teeny little bag of 6 kreplach. But the idea here is for you to learn how to make kreplach. And even if you make it once, right? And then you show it to your children, right? And some of you here are boobies with daughters and then granddaughters. You have a whole link, like a whole link right here in many of the people in the room. So that in itself is like something so incredibly special. So like I told my daughter, that's it, we're making kreplach before me. So without any further ado, we have to introduce the most special woman of all, and that is Mrs. Hochman.
Now I'm going to take it. Wait a minute. I have to make the dough.
Okay. You just
make the dough, and I cut it up, and you see how I do it. And then we make the first kreplach, and then they can take it, or we're going to eat first. I don't know.
I think maybe show first how you roll out the dough.
Okay. So in the meantime, I just cover the top of the way to fries up, and I have a little bit to tell them what the goes on the bottom.
Right.
While she's doing that, Shireen, could you just wave to the crowd? Everybody, this is Shireen. If you haven't had a chance to pay her for kreplach night tonight, this is what I do. I ask for money. I'm sorry, I can't help it. So, if you haven't had a chance, before you leave tonight, if you could just pay Shireen. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So, if you really think that something special about the kreplach, I wouldn't think so, because just the name alone. Well, the name kreplach came before I was born, definitely. It's a long, long time ago. Now, it's so simple, it's so plain, that it doesn't need even a recipe. Doesn't need it's simple. First of all, what we need, even the meat alone. Usually, I cannot talk about anybody else but for myself, the way I make it for myself. The flour has to be special. That flour is 5 roses. Why? The other one are multi-grain. And because multi-grain, it likes to fall around apart when you cook it. This one, you cook it, you put it whatever, and it always stays together. So this is the flour, first of all. We don't need a lot of eggs. But what goes into the meat, most important is fried onion. This is the most important thing. I fried my onions in margarine because I don't like oil. But that doesn't mean that Not everybody can do the way it feels. It goes according to the taste. Into the kreplach is ready made, already it's cooked. So whenever you mix it up, you just taste it. Need a little salt, add a little salt, a little pepper, add that.
We did
And
it
if you know, you're gonna see according to the taste. Everybody has its own taste. My taste is maybe different than yours. I like more salt, you like more pepper, whatever you do. There's nothing to one with the other. If you cook it in the soup, the meat, I usually take chicken and turkey. I mix it because I like the chicken soup, turkey and now from the meat, from the chicken, everything is okay except the white meat, the breast. This has no taste and it's very dry and it's no good in this, not in the soup and not in anything. Very expensive because it does other things it does. So what we do instead,
This is dark meat? Yeah.
this is the filling. And that's why the filling, here, our Rebbetzin, I will tell you about the filling. We did it already and tasted it, we know that it's okay. And then you're going to say, it's delicious. But in meantime, let me just how it is done. To make sure that you know how to do it, I prepared the dough this afternoon. Because it's too hard, but I'll tell you what it goes in the dough. It's so simple. I'll tell you how I did it, and how I measured, and whatever. And the rest you could see, because you see, I did not that she made we were just talked about it. I talk and she did it. So the filling, you see now. The dough, you see now. But how both goes together is, you'll see when everybody is going to get a piece. When I roll it out, I took it in my rolling pin because that's to make sure. Now the cooking is also very, very important. After the Kreplach are done, very important. Do you see that little thing? It's a wooden spoon. And with that wooden spoon you can also cook the Kreplach. What does the wooden spoon have to do with the Kreplach altogether? It's very important. The Kreplach are very soft. The meat inside is cooked is very soft. The dough is soft. When you put it, it sticks together in the boiling water. But before you put in the kreplach, you put in the spoon. And keep the spoon like that. Don't lift it, because you're going to kill it. You keep the spoon. And you see, one you have to see it like that. This stays always, you then take it off till the kreplach swim up. You know, when they're ready, you know, they have to swim up and they don't come on top. So you don't pull this out. Not this side, but this side. And just go, you know, like that. And leave it. Then 5-10 minutes later you go again, do it a day. Make sure that they don't stick together. After they're ready, they cook maybe 2-3 minutes. How long did it cook?
Yeah.
2-3 minutes. But then you taste. You take out the kreplach. It's your kreplach, you can only taste it. If it's ready, take it out. But if it's not overcooked, because it's overcooked, you have to heat the top. Then it's gonna, you know, it gets too soft, too soggy. So you cook it, so listen, it's 20%, I would say, is knowledge, and the rest is common sense. You just use your common sense. It's very simple. The cooking is also important, you know how to make the kreplach. And that's what I intend to do tonight, to teach you how to do it. This is the project that we did both of us, the Rebbetzin and I, we did it. And the one I did by myself because it's Friday and we had to do it everything. The people should know how to do it and how to taste it. Maybe you don't like it, but if you taste what they say, it's not bad. Maybe I should make it a little different. Onions have to be because the onions make the whole kreplach. Can you imagine the meat, the cooks and the soup, the chicken soup? The soup puts out, you know, the strength from the chicken, from the meat. The meat is, they get plain. So we have to bring it up something to give it taste. So what gives taste? The fried onions. We don't fry it brown. As long as it's cooked well, light brown or soft. And then I have a meat grinder, an old-fashioned one. But you can use even a cleaver. But a cleaver, you remember, you chop it up as long as or the food processor, you know, whatever. I never use it because I have the meat grinder, you know, put everything to the meat grinder. Now, if you have the meat, just debone it. After it's cooked from the soup, take it out, debone it. So you have separate the meat and separate the soup and the bones. Of course, we don't need the bones. Once it's done, you can freeze it for the next time to cook it, to make the kreplach, or do it the same day. It's not necessary, you know, you can have a little bit I cook today and a little I cook 2 weeks later, still good, as long as it's frozen. Then we use the frozen, of course, for an hour or two, whatever. And you have the fried onions. Once you have the fried onions, you cannot freeze it. Then you chop it up, unless it's in the dough, in this. I didn't try it. Maybe it's okay, that's why I said, we have to try it. We have to try it, and then you see, hey, I know more or less how to do it, but let's do it my way. And everybody has another way of doing it. I'm telling you the way I do it. Now, then it's to get it down, both the onions, the fried onions and the meat. We need something to hold it together. What do you hold it together? That little spongy. I call it spongy. Why do I call it spongy? It's like a sponge cake. And it holds it together because it needs, the onion has juice. And it has oil or margarine. So it gets loose. Now, if it's going to lose the inside, it's going to open up. It's going to smile, and this is no good. So we have to make it a little stiffer. That thing, this is the texture it's supposed to be, but this stiffness. And to use that, we use a little spongy like that. I take 2 eggs. 2 eggs I took only for myself, because it's just to show you. And this how it goes inside.
It's 2 eggs and some flour, right? Is it flour also?
Yeah.
So it's like a little omelet?
Yes, but it's with
Two
flour.
eggs and what else? Just eggs? What else did you put?
Eggs, flour, and a little salt.
Yeah.
Nothing else. I beat the eggs. This little thing is done for 2 eggs. If I add another egg, you can make all the kreplach. Now, that's the way it goes. It's not about the taste again also, but you take the egg whites, you beat them, I bet a bit flour. And then put the egg yolks and a little bit of salt, and then a little flour, but not make it thick because it's very thin. The dough is very thin. I pour it in into the skillet, whatever, the frying pan. And a minute, 2 minutes, you see it gets baked, it's bubbling. You turn it over on the other side like a potato latke. You can never ruin it. You make it more, if it's stiffer, it's good. If it's softer, it's good. It's the same thing. It goes with the meat together, it goes inside. Once inside, it doesn't make it doesn't different. But everything together, when you put the onions, and you put the meat, and you put that little thing, then it's really, really a good taste. And what do you do then? You can take a potato mash and do it, or with the fingers, you see? There's no polish, no nail. Just go with it and just you mix it well on, the onions with everything. And start tasting. Take a little bit. I think it did all, but I'm not sure. Then I take a little tin, take a tablespoon, put in, add a little salt, mix it up, and then taste it. Oh yeah, it's much better. If it's better, you add then for the whole thing. But don't add to the whole mixture right away because you don't know if it makes better or not. You just do, like I said, use common sense. And it's so simple, it's plain. What the eggs and the onions, this is the whole thing, a little spongy. This is the filling. But to make the dough, wow, this is the biggest thing to make the dough. You take the flour, doesn't matter how much flour. You take it in a big bowl.
You're like they did mention, I don't know why you took 7 hours.
Just, there's recipes. Gail managed to get a recipe, so.
If you make a lot of kreplach, remember, If you lay that kreplach, you're less. What did it happen, 9th, the 7th place or 8th place or whatever, because then it comes out a lot of kreplach. If I make kreplach, I have a couple of 100, because I have to divide, I give dinner a little bit, you know, I make portions and I give. So this is the way the dough goes according to the filling. You have a lot of filling to make more dough. What goes in the dough, like the recipe said, 7, that's what we counted, we did it. This is the first time I said, I don't know, you're the lady, you do it, you know the rabbits and you bake. So I just took, you know, put it together 7 cups, okay? How many eggs do we for 7 cups? 2.
Really?
Yeah.
That's all, 2.
Yeah.
What do they do with that? I take them a big glass, with the fork, you make it very loose, add water, a cup of water, and then pour with a little salt in the flour, and a little salt in that mixture, and pour it up. And then go mix, and make them like little pieces, tiny little pieces, a full big pieces. I don't want to put a lot of water, because it's way too thin. And then I don't put water, it's going to be too thick. So I push it away on the side, and I take just a little bit, and I make the dough. This should be okay. Then another bit, till the end, till you finish. And then, once you finish, you start kneading it. Take 10 minutes, sometimes 12 minutes, till the vanilla, you don't hold the weight. Then you have to put it away in a plastic bag for 2 hours, an hour and a half, 2 hours. This one is 3 hours. This one was 3 hours. We're going to taste it, we're going to see. So you'd say, what is that dough so, why is that so poor? 2 eggs and salt in the flour and water, that's the ingredient, mark it down. So why is that so important? You have the onions inside, so that dough comes outside. This is hidden, you see, this is a Purim. Purim, you hide the face, you hide this, you mask, you hide yourself who you are. We put the kreplach out the safe for Purim, that's why we eat the kreplach. We don't know, you know, we put, you know, the man, they come with green hair, with big glasses, big shoes, and like this, with the Megillah. This is the kreplach, it's hidden. You don't see what's in the dough. You don't see. You can make kreplach from liver, somebody make from liver, some make it from potatoes, some make it from mushrooms, so I know what they put, whatever you put. The main thing is the dough to close the top and doesn't open up. When it doesn't open up and it's not too loose inside, then it has the texture should hold, shouldn't come out. When it's closed, you cook it, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. You 2 minutes, minute and a half, everything is cooked. You cannot go wrong because you taste. You taste before you put it, and before you taste, you put it. Except this, you don't taste. But what's in the flour, in the 2 eggs, you 7 cups of flour, this is one thing. But when you take it out of the water, then it's going to click together. Then we have to separate them. We said, hey, you cannot make from all the kreplach one kreplach. That we don't. Then the chicken, it so happened that the chicken's a little fat. So what do you do the fat? Take out the fat before you cook the soup. Take it out, cut it up in little tiny pieces, put it in the jar, put it to you know, like a fried onion. And you see then, you see a few minutes, you have this separate. You put it in this, how it comes.
So this you do in a separate cup.
No, this is the
schmaltz.
This
The schmaltz is from the soup.
Where did you get the schmaltz from?
No,
From the
she had
soup?
the kreplach inside.
No, but
No,
where did you make the
I made
schmaltz?
it, so you okay, it was my first chance at chicken schmaltz and Reuben. So when I was putting in the chicken thighs, right, putting in the chicken thighs to the soup, So it has like schmaltz on it, you know, that yellow,
Yeah.
the stuff that you wish you could do for your thighs, like what you do to the chicken. Okay, so then I just fry it up. You just put it into a fry pan, and it starts to dissolve. Not the skin, like the white, you know, the
You
schmaltz.
can use a little bit of
You probably could use a lot of the skin too, it also make it taste good, but that's what I did. So that was the first time I used chicken schmaltz, but you could also probably just use oil. Like when we wrote up the recipe, we wrote and or, right? So
Yeah.
you can
Now
use
with
either
the
one. But this
bacon,
gives it a little bit of a
now,
flavor, yeah.
I have a colander, you know, from plastic. So it's easy. I go in and I give 20 kreplach together. I put on a pot like that. I put 50, 60 kreplach. I put cook in one. Now it's much easier because if you do kreplach, you know they're going to be running one after the other, and they you know they don't cook even. But they have to stay, and then slowly they rise up. When they are hot, they rise up. So one that have inside the dough, this, and outside you have a little fat. Now it's not so poor anymore. It has the fat from the outside and the fat from the inside. But to make it together should stick. If you have more eggs, it won't stick. If you have fat, it won't stick. It won't, you know, it has to be plain. One is very good and the other is not so good. So it develops and it comes out good. It comes out good. So far it came out good for me and I have it for years.
Gail wants you to tell them why do we Kreplach on Purim and why for Shana Rabbah and for
But we are not finished yet. We have to.
Oh, after we eat
They're
it?
cooking, they're gonna fall apart. And they're gonna stay apart for
Okay,
longer.
so she'll tell you after.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna make the dough. and
Okay,
I
so
cut
you
the
make the
cow,
dough while
in the
we,
meantime, I can
yes,
eat.
perfect. Okay, so what we're gonna do is actually serve you kreplach with chicken soup. And you'll eat it now while Mrs. Hochman is rolling out the dough and letting it like sort of develop. Like it's interesting. That I found very interesting. I usually do a lot of yeast dough, so I never thought of this idea. This is a plain dough, no yeast, no nothing, but you keep it in that plastic bag for the hour or up to 3 hours, and it has like a different consistency. It becomes like a really good pliable kind of thing. But meanwhile, we are serving you chicken soup with kreplach.
They're gonna eat.
Give everyone their own. She doesn't want to give
Baba wants to make the kreplach, whoever it's finished, but I need to make a new thing. I have the dough, but I don't have enough room. So whoever's ready, I'll show you now how to do it.
She'll show
This is
from
gonna
there.
show you how to do
This
it.
is you stretch it like elastic. There. Now take and need a little spoon. A little spoon to take it.
Very
Sit
much.
with dough.
Very much. No.
I usually make it because it's not on there, on the board, it doesn't stick together. Okay, we just take a little bit. Now we make it a little less. You know, you should make it a little bit more than that. It's a little bit, because we do it the same day. Now here, step it together. Now you have two sides. You just put the place like that with the hand. Now you take the other side. You see, just make sure that the dough goes to dough. It doesn't go in the filling. Because if the filling goes in between, it isn't gonna work. It's gonna, you cannot stick it. Here. Now once it's done like that, we have like a triangle. So the two extras that we have, this is the noose for women. This is a triangle, this is hat. And this, if you turn it upside down, you have the hat. And this is the noose goes on here because we have to hang it. I need a little flour because it sticks.
You want me to put the flour on your mug?
Yeah, because it's sticky.
So what
Not that it's enough, that's enough.
Okay.
Not enough.
Sheila, what kind of board does your mother use?
So this
She's
is
a
the
wooden
kreplach.
board.
That's the best
A
thing.
Holz and a plate, a wooden, what's it called?
We'll show them
Cutting
how to
board.
do it.
Okay.
Make another one.
So I'm gonna pass it around so you can see what it looks like. She doesn't, she normally rolls it on a wooden cutting board because it's easier.
Usually I do like that. It's thick in here and it's thick there. So I take it, squeeze it a little bit of sides, like that, to make it thinner, like that. And then the middle I leave. Now when you stretch it like that, you can see to the light. You make it like an elastic, Now you put it in. It's too soft, I don't know why it's so soft.
What, the meat or the dough?
It's too soft and soft. I hope it won't bust now. You just, once you take the opposite, you pinch it together. And now you just take it like that, push it back and check that it goes. And just squeeze it together. Just like that. And you take the other side, it sticks out. So just push it in and check, it's good. So that goes like that. Once you cook like this, you have a little bit extra. And this is the way you make it. Scratch it all around. So you take it this way, take it together, make it a little thing. Tap on this ball.
She rolls it on flat and then makes a checkerboard.
No, but I'm going to do because we're eating, it doesn't see what I do with the grain, show it. But the see, when you have it, just scratch it out. And again, this gets much softer because it's too long for both of us. Longer for this, usually when they make it, it's much softer. Those two go together. Stick those two together. And here we push it out like that, and we close it up. Just like that together. Now we turn it around, take a little bit, bring it back in, and make sure that both sides stick. I'm going to stick that together, and it's going to cook, and our cooking is going to cook all about. Now you stick it together, and here's the pepper.
Okay, Eva, we're going to give everybody now the give everybody a piece now.
It's very hard to get
Everyone little plastic bags and these plastic you're gonna wrap it in a paper towel and then you're gonna pass your roll through.
Are you guys done? I don't have an excuse to miss the This one's I'm giving you paper Let me see.
she's a good teacher. She's amazing. Okay, thank you for being
So to make it that's how fine they put it down. You know, they can because of it's on wood, it's down, we don't have to
Okay, we're gonna give everybody another piece of dough and you get to make another kreplach. She's just cutting up more. Can everybody see? Were you able to see? So what she's doing now is she's taking another ball of the same dough, she rolled it out flat, and she's cutting strips, almost like a checkerboard, just to make the squares. That's all she's doing.
The dough is outstanding. And here they go straight in.
Yeah, it's really easy to work with.
Well, that's what it is, right?
You don't
Special. This is for Drew.
Thank you.
Okay, so now so I just think before you go, I just want to clarify for you the idea of boiling up the kreplach, because this really was the big secret. Even I don't remember my mother doing it this way, and this was like a really great thing to learn. And it was fun. I was talking to Kathy Laszlo, and you know who that is, from Hungary, and she said in Hungary that's how they also boiled up the kreplach and things like this. Because what's the point with kreplach? The hard point is when I was making the kreplach with Mrs. Hochman, she went, oh, no casualties, because it's called casualties. You know, when they open up and you're stuck. She's right, no casualties. So this was the way you do it. So you would boil up this water, you would put in the kreplach, but this spoon is in this water. So as the kreplach are boiling, you're going around like this.
Like that.
So that you're separating the kreplach. I bet you people could do this. I never thought about this. Like, you know when you make meatballs,
like
don't you
that.
guys sometimes have that same problem with the meatballs? So this could be the thing that saves the day. Okay, so now we're going to be able to make our meatballs, you know, without them all clumping together. So it's the same idea. And the kreplach, how do you know when they're ready? It is true, they float to the top. That's what happened even with the chicken soup. So the kreplach that I made with Mrs. Hochman, I think it was like almost last week, we had frozen. So this was really good. Like when you make kreplach, you can freeze them in bags, like freeze them in bags of 10 or 12, right? And then you have them in the freezer, and as you need them, you take them out, you put them into the boiling hot water. Once they've been frozen, I found you don't have to do this part. You know what I mean? Because they've already been pre-cooked, and they're ready within 15 to 20 minutes.
Sorry, so
Any other questions?
you cook them and then you freeze
cook
them.
them and then you freeze them. So you guys will go home tonight, you want to see, you know, how to make the kreplach. Boil up some water. You can put a little bit of salt. I'll tell you the real trick. The real trick is you put the chicken soup mix in. Am I allowed to announce that? Get the one with no, you know, and then okay, that's so and that's what you do. Put like a teaspoon of chicken soup mixed in water, right? And then you'll have a little bit of flavor. Even these two little kreplach will taste better. And then you'll boil them up. Even tonight, like try it out.
So you're saying you're never taking the onions, get the you're just turning on the onions.
Yes.
So this is in here?
Like you can let it boil for a little bit, and she leaves it.
Oh, and this is in that. There's some of that in there. Right?
She leaves it in. Then nothing would happen.
kreplach, other than they're so tasty.
That's also good.
Now a little bit of chocolate. I put the rabbit soup, but I tried to do the best. I tell you how it was in the old home. In the old home I asked, why do you make the kreplach? What's such a big thing about the kreplach? She said, look, I understand Erev Yom Kippur, 3 times a year we use the kreplach. Erev Yom Kippur, not before the fasting, but for the lunch. This is when we have the kreplach with the soup. And on Hashanah Rabbah, the second time, maybe they made a joke and they wanted to explain to me, like to say, like in layman's word. He said, whenever you hit, then you will kreplach. Huh? What do you mean whenever you hit? You see? Now when you hit the woman, what do you do? Tapping with the hands, with the feet, with noise, with them to make it all the noise. Then they make the kreplach. Why on Shana Rabbah? Why on Shana Rabbah? Ah, on Shana Rabbah, die klappt de Schanes. We have the shanis, we hack the shanis, we hack the shanis, we hack the shanis. By Erev Yom Kippur, we take a live chicken, we say, zot chane patir, and now we say, zeh hakesef. Zeh hakesef is like tzedakah. It means now we did this is the money that we give on Stucky. Instead the chicken that will go there. So this is Erev Yom Kippur, and this is Shana Rabbah. But why? In the real way, in the real explain it to me. You see, Erev Yom Kippur, we need a little bit cheering God. Next day we're going to be fasting. It's going to be the big thing. It's going to be the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day, we're going to be judged for the whole year what we did. We have to pray to Hashem. If we need the strength, we need a little bit something to remind us of something. When you eat the Kreplach, you remember because the Erev Yom Kippur. Now Shana Rabbah, finally we got the stamp. This is finished. Shana Rabbah, we get the stamp, we set all the shanas, we finish with everything, now we make a celebration, now we have the Kreplach. While on Purim, why? There's not a holiday. We can work, we can eat, we can do everything. While, Ma, tell me, 127 countries almost lost their life, man, woman, and child in one evening. Can you imagine that simcha that instead, God forbid, they had Mordechai and Esther, and the Jews, 127 countries. So they took Haman. Hey, you are our biggest enemy. Who is Haman? Isaac cynical. Who is Isaac? The brother, Jacob's brother. And from him the whole generation came from. This one was right, and this one went left, and now they. So everything is for a reason, and everything has a limit. In everything, you know, whatever I learned at home, I had to know about everything. Everything. So not just about the Kreplach. The Kreplach now, I never 3 times a year. Do tell me. It comes before Rosh Hashanah, make the Kreplach. And the Kreplach are done for Rosh Hashanah, but they don't wait till Yom Kippur. You know that. You don't wait till Yom Kippur. We eat them before. Yeah. And your little boy, your little son, he said, Daddy, it is the good kind to the bad kind. Oh boy, I was laughing so much.
So, okay, just to give you a story, because every time a doctor does something nice to my mother, they get on my mother's Kreplach list, and then I have to go deliver it before Rosh Hashanah. So at the Nussbaum Singer Home, they've gotten used to getting the Kreplach, and if I show up late, like last year on Purim, I was late, and Brianna was very upset. Sorry, but William wanted Kreplach, and they never really had Kreplach at home. So Earl, he's not going to call my mother and say, make Kreplach. So he went to Sobeys and he bought Kreplach. And when William had the Kreplach, he went, no, I don't want these, I want the good kind. So now, he waits for my mom because those are the good
And
ones.
once he said that he liked the Kreplach, I said, and that little child convinced me. I mean it, I didn't mean it, that's not a joke. He convinced me. If he knows the difference, of course, if you buy it yourself or you make it yourself, two different things, it's so easy. But if you make it yourself, you put it with love, you put everything into that kettle, and you taste it 100 times, maybe a little this, maybe a little that. For your family, you want to do it nice. And everything for that, look over Yontif, we do it everything for the pressure, you know, that we have, the pleasure for Yontif, and everything what to make it a little bit special. I used to always think about, Ma, I like that the apple is so delicious, why can't I have it now? How is it, you're going to have now, how about Rosh Hashanah, you're going to dip it in honey? Can't you wait a little bit longer than you have it now? This is for Yontif, something special. You know, it was so delicious, you can eat it even on Yontif. And always, you know, there was always a comparison between the weekday and between the Yontif and the Shabbos. He said, listen, that the Shabbos and the 10 Commandments, they're only on Torah, but this Hashem said, keep your Shabbos holy. So we have to keep Shabbos holy. What do we do Shabbos? We go to the Megillah this year. And the data, you know, we said about the Haman, because this is going to be the red for the second Torah is going to be red. on Shabbos, which is Parsha Zucha, and Parsha don't forget what Avoli did to you, never forget it. And the same night we gave, you know, with the crap and that we're gonna kill Avol, you know. And everything is for a reason. We are not here just eating the Kreplach because it's good. It's not that good. If you make a good steak, it's much better. But it's a symbol. It's a symbol that we are Jews. And it's how that fiddle the tradition. This is our tradition. We have to everything, whatever we can. You think it was easy for me to say maybe that. I mean, kind of hurry, you know, the people are going to come. I don't know what to tell them. What am I going to tell them? They know everything better than I. We have more than one rabbit here, or we have rabbits. In a third one, we have rabbits here. And I'm going to teach them Torah. They're going to teach me. But you see, why do you say everything is for a reason? A lot of you know that I was in hiding. And I was in hiding for 20 months. I had to hide my identity. I didn't have Kreplach. I didn't have even meat, thank God I didn't have meat, they didn't have themselves. My main food was potatoes. How do I know it's Yom Tov? How do I know it's Shabbos? I knew what Shabbos was. But I had to hide myself. I used to smoke a cigarette to feel the burning in my heart that I am still alive. Where did I get a cigarette? Cigarette butts, they were throwing on the floor, you know, and I picked it up, took it up, like a piece of newspaper, crushed it up, put it inside, rolled it up. I thought that I'm going to choke, but I felt that I'm alive. That came a time. The whole day I was a goy, but at night I was still Jewish. At night I was Jewish. And not to forget who I am. I do not forget that we are Jews. And I didn't know I knew Birkat Hamazon, because when I couldn't write the other page, but I knew Birkat Hamazon. And this is text to my father, a Geneidebriter. He taught me, and he taught my little brother. When he taught my little brother how to make tzitzis. Huh? Why do you teach him and not me? Girls don't wear tzitzis. This is for boys, not for the girls. Why do you need, do you think I forgot how to make tzitzis? So my grandson went to school, they had to make a tallis. And of course, Bobby would we make a tallis. I make him a tallis. And then I got a Torah, and I got the middle. I think that wasn't with silver, but it was just that. And then I made, you know, the two little holes of the dam. And then he had tzitzis. Where are you going with the tzitzis? Well, I have to go to, you know, the teacher is going to make it. I said, no, I'll make it for you. I make it for you, and I put on the tzitzis the way it goes. This is not that you make a knot in the sitters. It's not a knot. You have to know, you know, the go first, you know. But now they say 1, 2, 3, 4. We said till Zion, and then till Chet, and then Yud Aleph, and then Yud Gimel. Yud Gimel 13. So I remember, since I was a little, yes, you know that they have the tradition. They have to follow, they have to follow. This is our belief. This is our belief. And that kept me alive. That I knew Birkat Hamazon, and I knew Kriyat Shema Alamita. And that's what the Kriyat Shema. And now, when you're in the house, you saw the Siddur laid beside the bed. You know, beside my bed I have the Siddur. Why, before I go to sleep, and because why the Shema had to be there word by word by word, not to make, God forbid, to make a mistake. Otherwise I say, because I'm rushing and I don't have time and I have to do the dishes and then you do my behalf. We are Jews. We are Jews. We do everything to remember that we are Jews. And I hope tonight, for the Kreplach, you're all going to remember that you learned how to make Kreplach. And especially we have our photographer.
Thank you.
Even he learned
My
that.
doctor. And in case something, God forbid, happened because I get overwhelmed, because you never touch my heart and it's still beating. So I hope everybody enjoyed the day they have to go to sleep. We took away the time. Now it's you for. Thank you for letting me.
No, wait. So just on behalf of everybody, I wanted to present you with a beautiful Tehillim. because I know how you love to say Tehillim, and here now you have, do you see, all the Tehillim with all the beautiful pictures of us and everything. I know. Okay, so this is where you.
My doctor said to me, outspoken. I said, what do you mean outspoken? I said, you're a doctor, baby. I had to explain to me. He said, but not exactly that. I said, yeah, exactly that. So now I'm outspoken for that. I said to him, there's nobody there called Higel. I did that. It's everything. I mean, it's his title. It's not the title. So thank you very much.
We should just, for sure, millions. So thank you so